Hey, yo, what is going on, hey guys? Got a brand new deck guide for you guys today. We're going to be talking about Warlock Slam, which is my newer take on the old Surtur Slam, Gwenpool Slam list that we've been running for quite a minute, or at least it's been quite a minute since we talked about it, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. So in case you guys did not know, Warlock is the brand new Series 5 card that did release yesterday, which is a 3-cost, 3-power card with the ability Activate. For each unspent energy, give a card in your hand -1 cost. This is cost added to your cost reduction in your hand that is not limited to just a single turn. This is something that you can use multiple times, not the Activate, but your discounted cards. So just keep that in mind. And we're running, of course, the good old-fashioned Monkey Slam with Moon Girl. So some of the best tips, which I had a lot of trial and error with this last night, with Warlock is activate your Warlock before you Moon Girl, or before you do some of the, some of these crazy things. Of course, after you Black Swanned, but before the Moon Girl. So then when you do Warlock, those cards that get discounted then get Moon Girled, opposed to having more cards in your hand for Warlock to have to hit. The least amount of cards that he can hit as possible, the better it is for you to get the maximum discounting, which is also why we really like Black Swan in this list, because Black Swan and making your cards cost 0, Warlock does not target cards that do already cost 0, which honestly is very helpful, especially with this style list where you're trying to maybe get discounted Monkey, maybe you draw your Gwenpool or your Moon Girl even too late, but those cards get discounted, so you have 5 power you're able to play onto the board with your Hit Monkey as well, so you're not just limited to only the 1-drops. Like, there's a bunch of different ways you kind of mess around with this. You, of course, have other ways to propagate energy, giving yourself more energy, playing cards onto your Hope Summers, using Wasps potentially as an enabler for more energy, for more stuff for Warlock to be able to hit, is something we've been doing as well. Also, just mainly using it to be able to hit Hope Summers, to be able to have extra energy, so you can potentially float turn 5 to get a free She-Hulk, get that 6 energy soaked up by Sunspot. Wasp also is a free card you can play out with Monkey to be able to get an additional proc for your Hit Monkey as well. It's normally a card I don't really want to duplicate unless my hand is looking pretty rough. Then I would duplicate the Wasp, but more often than not, I'm kind of just playing that on the board, so I can maximize the value I can get with Gwenpool or maximize my Moon Girl potential as well. Of course, the 1-cost cards we're going to have is Sunspot, because we are floating energy to get Warlock value and to get She-Hulk value. We have Kitty Pryde as a card we can repeatedly play onto Hope Summers, and a 1-drop that does scale a little bit. We also have Hydra Bob as a pretty high-powered 1-drop at a 1/4, as well as Titania at a 1/5. So keeping your placement in mind when you're playing out a Titania and understanding when snapping Bob does move. Using that also to your advantage to maybe get into some other locations with Bob that your opponent maybe is not accounting for also can be very helpful there. Black Swan, making your 1-cost cost 0. Hit Monkey, you're playing a lot of cards out, so Hit Monkey getting that +2 for the cards you play. Gwenpool, some hidden power buffed onto cards so your opponent doesn't necessarily know what exactly you're going to be throwing down with the Gwenpool procs. Moon Girl, your opponent doesn't know what you've copied in your hand with Moon Girl. So you had those as some of those unknown factors that really help you be able to potentially steal cubes with this deck. But let's go ahead and jump right into why we have each card in this list individually. So starting off, we do have the Wasp in this list. The Wasp is, of course, used as either a Monkey proc or a card you can play onto your Hope Summers to be able to get the extra energy, helping you if Hope Summers is a little bit of a later draw, so that you're not just limited to just being capped out at what your normal energy is. You're using this as one of those enablers to be able to have extra energy to float, or extra energy to make plays, either later on in the game or even earlier into the game. So that's one of the main reasons we have Wasp in here. Also, if it does get hit with a Moon Girl, you have 2 free cards you're able to play with your Hit Monkey. We have Sunspot. We are floating energy for Warlock. We are floating energy for She-Hulk. We are also, generating extra energy with Hope. So using that, if we're not using all of our energy, for Sunspot to be able to soak is very beneficial here for us. And then, of course, we do have Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde is one of those, 1-cost cards that we can play repeatedly, play onto a Hope Summers to be able to get the extra energy. Also, another just card that can scale to give us extra fodder potentially to play with Hit Monkey, or even as a late draw, if you're seeing some more like Negasonic, or you have some weird locations and stuff, you can sacrifice kind of a Kitty Pryde, same way you could maybe sacrifice a Wasp in order to maybe get into some other lanes, or be able to dodge certain aspects of, tech cards and everything too. And then, of course, we have Hydra Bob. Hydra Bob is a 1/4, pretty good solid stat line for a 1 cost, so it's a good additional power to be able to add to the board with your Hitmonkey opposed to just a smaller 1 cost card. We're not bouncing anything, so we want to have like set power onto cards, which is why we have Bob, and Bob snapping to be able to move into maybe some of these other moved locations or locations you're maybe unable to get into also can be pretty beneficial as well. And then, of course, we do also have Titania. Titania you could actually use as a clog tool, whether that is to clog your opponent out of the lane, or even if you're facing Cerebro. Not many people are running Cerebro 5 right now, so you could use Titania as a way to mitigate the Cerebro-ness and make it so they can't get the full Cerebro value that they're looking forward to. So you can use that there, but I'm using it more as a 1/5 stat line. It is the 5 power to be able to do things, you know, to have extra power on the board with your Hitmonkey, and, you know, it's a 1 cost, so Black Swan does hit it, which Black Swan is, you know, an activate until the end of next turn. Your cards cost 0. Your 1 cost cards cost 0, meaning you can activate this before you activate your Warlock, so Warlock does not hit the cards that already cost 0. Because it starts as soon as you activate Black Swan, and it doesn't end until the end of next turn. So you have pretty much like the either second half of a turn or a quarter, whatever, until the rollover, until the end of that next turn, to be able to get the value from Black Swan, which is really nice. And then, of course, you do have Hitmonkey. You are playing a bunch of cards. It's a slam deck, whether it's with a 1 cost, which is the main things you're slamming down, or additional She-Hulks, or cards that have just been Moon-Girled. You have Monkey to be able to get value from those different lines and everything, too. This is one of your main scalers in this deck. Warlock is one of your main ways to energy cheat. Even if you don't have a Black Swan, if your 1 cost cards do get hit by Warlock, they do cost 0. So you have that as another added benefit if you don't have the Black Swan to be able to do other things. Of course, you need to float at least 1 energy in order to use Warlock. If you float no energy at all, Warlock is just nothing for you. He doesn't do anything. You have to float energy, and it counts the energy of the turn that you are playing. So you have to float energy the turn you activate Warlock in order to get the Warlock proc. Of course, we have Hope Summers, like I said, to be able to generate more energy so you can get more value out of your Warlock, or to get potentially 0-cost She-Hulk, be able to get extra value for your Sunspot, be able to have just extra ways to play more cards for your bigger Hitmonkey Slam. You're using this as pretty much one of those main energy generators in order to kind of maximize your combo. We, of course, have Gwenpool. Gwenpool we're using to play onto our Hope Summers, giving cards in our hand +2 power, can hit the same card multiple times, can hit a variety of different cards, but using this also as an unknown factor. Our opponents don't know exactly where power is going and how much power is going where, because they also have the unknown factor of Gwenpool. How many times did this card get hit? Can they actually add power here? Like, this is a really good just kind of like surprise factor to help you kind of win games. And then Moon Girl, you would do like a Gwenpool probably before you would do a Moon Girl in order to get duplicates of the cards that have already gained extra power from your Gwenpool. That's the right way to do this. Of course, if you don't have the Gwenpool and maybe you have more She-Hulks, it depends on like your hand placement, what cards and where they are in their hand. Of course, the leftmost cards are the cards that are going to copy. So keep that in mind when you're doing like your calculations for Moon Girl as well. It's not always going to be the most optimal to do Moon Girl opposed to maybe doing some other plays. So just keep that in mind going forward. And like I said as well, activate your Warlock before you Moon Girl, so there's less cards that Warlock has to choose between to energy discount. And then lastly, we do have She-Hulk. You know, we have different ways that we are just floating energy, whether this is to be able to get extra Warlock value, whether it's we've played onto Hope Summers already, whether we have Moon Girl and stuff. Like, She-Hulk is in here to have an extra power slam for us later into the game, because sometimes even Monkey is just not big enough, and it's just better to play She-Hulks. That 10 power is really solid. And, you know, Shang-Chi isn't, you know, able to destroy multiple 10 power cards in a single lane right now, so that actually feels pretty good into this right now. But we're going to jump right into some gameplay from stream from yesterday, and then I will see you guys at the end of the video. We have a really good start. We have Warlock, Hope, Monkey, Moon Girl. We just need a She-Hulk. She-Hulk would be sick. Black Swan is nice. Black Swan is really nice. We have Warlock. This could be really fun. Ebony Maw. I would honestly love a She-Hulk here. The way we would set this up, ideally, we're going to Warlock before you Moon Girl. Warlock before you Moon Girl is the move. I'm assuming they've got to have something like a War Machine to be able to get over there. We've not made a Warlock video just yet, Sir Fishy. We're actually doing it hopefully right now. War Machine. Fair enough. We're going to snap back into Black Swan, Warlock, into Moon Girl and Kitty. I know this is weird. But trust here. There's the Infinite. There's the Infinite here. I get 2 monkeys and the kitty. And we give here. Just let that be. And it is going to be this. How big does monkey get? Monkey is 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Monkey is 4. Monkey goes to 11. So, with that in mind... Oh, no, monkey's going to be bigger than 4. It's going to be this. Just in case they play a random Giganto. Okay. Sweet. That will work. That will work. I'm sorry to hear that. That is so unfortunate. Goliath. Is this the Moon Girl version probably? Or not Moon Girl, Victoria Hand? Sam. If they don't have Mobius, this will be pretty good. If they have Mobius, it's kind of unfortunate, but... Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy, man. Carter. Mm. Hmm. So I'm going to get 2 She-Hulks and a Monkey to play. I don't snap this back. But we have a way to just win middle with power. No Black Swan makes this a little tough too. But free She-Hulks, Captain America, into Mercury. What's going on, Junkhead? How are you doing? So if they do cannonball me middle. They do cannonball middle. That is 32. I'm adding 1, 2, 3. I'm adding 34 middle. Wait. 1. So 1, 2, 3. So this goes up 6. We go to 11. This is 24. This is 33. Or no, 35. I should win. Victoria Hand. Huh. This is pretty good. Pretty good. That will work. Really, really, really bad luck. Asteroid M. This is a pretty good start for us. Pretty good start. Yeah, I like this actually a lot. We just don't have any of our other enablers. We don't have a She-Hulk. We don't have a monkey, so we're not... We just tempo Killmonger? Okay. When it pops off, it does pop off. But it has just not popped off for us yet. Dracula? What are they playing? Sorry, Hitmonkey is going to be free. Hitmonkey is going to be free. They blade into Swarm. And then they Vibranium. We're also not going to have Prio here. And we get the She-Hulk. Sweet. Sweet. So this is boom. Or honestly. Boom. Boom. Bop. Boom. Boom. Boom, 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 bop. Or I could do this, that into this, this, that. Giganto left is bigger. I think it's this. We're doing this just in case they get something, which is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just in case they get something crazy. Gambit. Oh, it needs to hit Black Swan. Okay. Fenris hits Black Swan. And then huge monkey. Huge monkey. Cool. That'll work. What is going on, Danish? Welcome in, my friend. Hopefully you're having a fantastic night. Thank you guys for shouting out Dennis. If you guys aren't following him, the hella goat himself in the building. Definitely show him some love. Buff Galactus. Which Galactus? And actually, I think I know which Galactus you're talking about. Buff Galactus. Gladiator hits Gwenpool, the real one. Hey, fair enough. Fair in. Oh, man. Would 513 Galactus, I imagine. Misery. Misery, misery, misery. That moves over into Big Demon. I lose just to Juggernaut middle. Juggernaut's got to be, like, just so horrible to face, man. So horrible to face. Actually, I can set this up in such a way that we beat Juggernaut middle. Yeah. And we will read out of here. We have Swan. Can I get She-Hulk? Helicarrier's not what we wanted. We do have Swan. We have Kitty. We have a lot of options here. Definitely have options here. What do we got? And we get Elysium. Wow. This is gross. This is really gross. With Galacta in hand here, too, like, this is crazy. This is crazy for us. So, that is why we're snapping into it. Corvus hits Hella and Colleen. So, we're facing discard. We are facing discard. Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
Dracula, Moon Knight hits my Titania, and they're Modok. So She-Hulk's alive. I go Swan into this. Yeah, then losing MODOK was so huge, but we had such crazy tech to mess around with, so... Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys did stick around to the very end, let me know it down below. What have you guys been testing Warlock with? I want to say thank you guys so much for watching and all the love and the support. I'm going to try and continue to pump out as much Snap content as possible. Maybe another deck guide this week. We'll see. Schedule's been a little crazy. We've had a pretty crazy week IRL just outside of Snap and everything. But I'll let you guys know. And then, yeah, definitely feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. It's been real. God bless, and Tucker out.